Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. My name's GBay99, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys a gameplay commentary. Today's commentary I'm super excited about because we're going to be talking about AD Fizz. AD Fizz is something that a lot of people don't know what it is. They don't know why you would ever want to build Fizz AD, and you know, typically they're right. You don't want to stack AD on Fizz. What? AD Fizz? That sounds like nonsense, right? Well, it's something that's been seen in all ratings in solo queue from bronze to challenger. It's something that a lot of people have had a lot of success with in all of those ratings, and I think we've even seen it in competitive play a bit. It's something that I have had a lot of fun with and a lot of success with in solo queue, and it's something that I really can't wait to talk about it. Let's go ahead and jump right in with the runes and masteries. For runes, what you want to run is you want to run attack damage marks, you want to run health per level seals, magic resist per level glyphs, and attack speed quintessences. And for masteries, you want to run 2190, still picking up most of the magic damage dealing masteries in the offensive tree. AD Fizz is not actually AD Fizz. It's not a Fizz that you build as an AD carry. Let's go ahead and show right here, though. Let's show some of the aggression that you can see. You can see right now I have a Doran's Blade right now, but I'm still going to be dealing tons of damage to this Aurelia. I know Aurelia. I'm able to know when I should be going in, when I shouldn't. I go in, pick up a first blood, and I'm going to show you guys just how far I can snowball on this AD Fizz build solely with that first blood. Let's go ahead and talk, though. AD Fizz, that sounds ridiculous, right? Fizz has one attack damage scaling ability. Why would you ever build Fizz AD? Isn't it still, like, even after the nerfs, wouldn't it still just be better to build him AP? And that's right, actually. AD Fizz AD does not work. You should not build Fizz like an AD carry. But as an on-hit top laner, like a lot of the other hybrids, he actually synergizes really well. One of the things that Riot did when they nerfed him was they gave him a little bit of compensation by buffing his W. The active on his Sea Stone Trident, his W, now deals a ridiculous amount of a percent of targets missing health. So I think it's like 8% at level 5. Each auto attack will deal 8% of your target's missing health. And that's a lot when your opponent starts getting below half of their health. So Fizz as an on-hit champion, which is the AD Fizz that a lot of people refer to when they say AD Fizz, a Fizz that stacks, or not stacks, but a Fizz that goes for like a Triforce into Blade of the Ruin King. That's the AD Fizz that's really ridiculously good. You basically build him the same way you would build a Jax or build an Aurelia, going for Triforce into an attack speed item and then tanky stuff afterwards. That's what Fizz is really good at, and that's what you will see a lot of damage coming out from Fizz, is a lot of unexpected damage from a Fizz in the top lane. This game in particular, you're going to see plenty of kills, you're going to see plenty of play. You guys can just sort of watch it as I commentate over and see the amounts of damage that you can deal. Fizz in the top lane is definitely very good, though, and hopefully I'll be able to get a few more people interested in it, or at least you won't yell at your team if you see someone insta-lock top lane Fizz. The thing with the AD Fizz that's a little bit rough right now is, honestly, okay, let me say this first and foremost. I think Fizz, I'm just going to keep calling it AD Fizz, even if it's like an attack speed on hit effect Fizz. Let's just call it AD Fizz, okay? AD Fizz, in my opinion, has the most potential of like any up-and-coming build or champion that's unusual right now. I honestly think that if the meta switches a little bit in top lane's meta, then Fizz might be one of the best top laners that there are out there. Right now in the top lane meta, AD Fizz isn't actually that good in certain situations. You have to play certain situations very specifically, and you have to really know the champion inside and out, dedicating a little bit of time. Like right here, you can see I took Ignite against this Aurelia because I know I've been playing AD Fizz both in normals and ranked for a little bit, and I've sort of figured that against Aurelia, you pretty much have to go for early kills when she's at her weakest point in the game if you want to be successful with AD Fizz. Aurelia is one of the, probably the best top laner right now just because of her laning, and that's sort of the meta in top lane right now. The top lane meta consists of picking a lot of champions that are just very strong in lane, a lot of champions that deal a lot of damage, have a lot of sustain, are typically hybrids. I see, I don't know about you guys, but like Aurelia is the #1 champion that I pretty much see in the top lane, and a lot of people still ban her because a lot of people think she is the best top laner right now. A lot of champions, you know, some champions top lane, you still pick them, like Gnar for the crazy team fights and all that, but right now, the top lane meta is definitely still very geared towards winning the lane. Right here you can see I was just waiting there for Aurelia to queue forward. As soon as she did, I knew I could go in and get a kill as long as I landed the ulti. I go in, I land the ulti, and I get the kill. That's another kill that I get on this AD Fizz build in the top lane, and you're going to see a lot more of that as time goes on and on. But as I was saying, Fizz in the top lane, I've sort of figured that against some of the stronger laners, you have to take Ignite and sort of go for the early kills. The Ignite guarantees that you can get the early kills, and if you can get those early kills, then you can snowball the lane. You're going to see right here, I don't think Aurelia is able to like 1v1 me at any point in the game, even though that's one of the things Aurelia thrives at. But this game in particular, I'm doing pretty well. I'm snowballing forward. As I was saying though, Fizz, he's a little bit odd in this current meta, but I honestly think if we see a shift in the meta, if we ever see Maokai as one of the most popular top laners again, then like Fizz, I'm pretty sure Fizz, some of those weaker top laners, not necessarily weaker as in they deal less damage, like a Maokai can still 1v1 an Aurelia if he knows how to, but just the fact that he's melee, the fact that he doesn't have his crazy harass as like a Vladimir, I don't know, something like that. We don't even see Vladimir that often right now, but Fizz is definitely a champion that was not built for top lane. He doesn't have the hard CC, he doesn't have the sustain, but AD Fizz still has enough utility that he can still be really good in team fights and enough damage that, definitely enough damage you're going to see. Right here, just right here, I'm going to be looking for another kill on Aurelia. My Ignite's up. Anytime my Ignite's up, I can get kills on this Aurelia. Right there you can see I was able to do a decent amount of damage just with that Q, because when you go for the Triforce, you're still able to pick up the Sheen, and the Sheen is still really nice. Here Aurelia uses the stun, and I know that she can't stun me while I'm under tower, so I can go for a pretty easy dive, another pretty easy kill. I see Rengar's coming top lane, but I'm pretty confident I'm going to be able to escape with my Flash and my Sea Stone, or excuse me, with my Playful Trickster, once that's back up. So that's exactly what I do. Rengar uses his ulti. I actually didn't want to use the Flash at first, but I was able to bait him top lane and Zed and get out safely because Fizz is just as annoying as he always has been. Right there, you guys have seen some pretty good laning, though, right? You guys can sort of get an understanding of how a Fizz can 1v1 a person in the top lane, and how he can chase them down the very long lane that is top lane, but I don't want to just 1v1 Aurelia over and over. That would be boring. Here I go for a lane gank bottom lane with the cast-in. I want my team to get initiated on right now, and I kind of wish they would. I kind of wish Lulu would just take the Leona E, but right here you're going to see their team is going to split off from Kalista. Kalista goes forward toward the brush. I try to get the Q, but I miss it, so I have to E forward. But I'm still going to land the ulti on her. We're going to get the kill. She tries to ult Leona away, but since we have a lot more movement speed with our Triforce and our boot, we are going to chase after her. The Scuttlebug buff is not going to be enough to save her. Turns out their team was doing Dragon. I was pinging for our team to go take the Dragon while I kill her, but she's going to throw down Exhaust. We're going to pick up 4 kills here for absolutely nothing. Aurelia's going to show up in the mid lane because she left top to come and help out her team, so I'm going to stop my recall right here, and then we're going to chase after her as well. We're going to get even more kills for our team because that's how strong AD Fizz is right now. You can see right here, particularly once you get to the lower amounts of health. I make a mistake there and don't finish her off, but once you get a champion to like half of their health, or even below half of their health, that's really when your attacks start doing a lot. If you haven't sort of like figured out, you know, the 8% missing health, if you can auto attack a lot, which is why you get all this attack speed, then that is a lot of damage per second. That's a very, very strong amount of the damage per second. But it only really starts kicking in when a champion gets below half of their health. Here you can see I can 2v1 these guys. Once that Zed gets low, I'm able to just like 2-shot him. It took like 2 auto attacks. I switch onto the Aurelia. Aurelia is one of the best 1v1ers in the game. I miss her and accidentally auto attack a minion, but it doesn't even matter. One more auto attack does like more than 300 of her health, and that's because she's getting so low, and that 8% of a target's missing health is really starting to kick in. And then all the attack speed, in addition to this Sheen procs, and in addition to the occasional crits and the little bit of attack damage that I have and all that, that really starts kicking in, and it really starts dealing a lot of damage, and that's what AD Fizz really thrives on. It's something that I've just been having a load of fun with. You guys who watch my stream, you know I don't typically like to play champions that I can't win every lane with. I don't typically like to play champions that get like hard counterpicked. I haven't really been playing Poppy recently because I've had a lot of issues with Dariuses that just counterpick me, and then then I die to them 1v1 or have whatever issue with them. Sometimes I don't even like to play Jax because I'm scared of getting a Malphite picked against me, something along those lines. But I've been playing a lot of Fizz, a lot of AD Fizz. He's actually my second most played champion in Season 5. We're in Season 5 now, and you guys can see why. He's still as fun as ever, and he deals a lot of damage. Right here, you're going to see just how annoying he is. Leona's going to flash forward, get her, she had that last auto attack. She was about to kill me, but I get my playful trickster away, and then I live. I'm 8-0 right now. It's ridiculous how annoying Fizz is. We all know how annoying he is based on how OP he was not that long ago, but he's still just as annoying and deals arguably even more damage. Right there. What happened to Zed's health? You have no idea what happened to Zed's health. Right there, I actually didn't even think my ulti was going to finish off Aurelia. I get a kill on her. I'm going to go for the triple here on Callista. She walks forward, trying to auto-attack. Big mistake. I get the triple. I'm taking a lot of damage from minions, and I'm going to get super duper greedy here, trying to Q through Leona and then E away instead of Eing away and then just Qing to the minions. So Leona's going to kill me, but Kassadin's going to finish her off and have a lot of fun. Like, this has just been a stomp all game. I had a lot of fun with this stomp. AD Fizz is something that I've had a lot of issues with sometimes. I make a lot of mistakes, and sometimes I do fairly poorly, but that's mostly just because it took a while for me to learn how much damage he deals at certain areas. You guys know. Like, I play Aurelia all the time. Aurelia is my most played champion. I've played thousands of games of Aurelia. When you play thousands of games of Aurelia, you know how much damage you deal at each point in the game. You know how much damage you deal when you have a Sheen, when you have Sheen and a longsword, when you have a Sheen Phage, when you have Triforce recurve bow. You know how much damage you deal to each and every person that you're going to lane against at each and every point of your build. And that's one of the benefits of playing a champion over and over, is you know all that, and you can exploit that against people who don't know that. But the thing with Fizz is, like, whenever you learn a new champion, any new champion, then you don't know that, and it's a little bit hard, it's a little bit frustrating to get into the swing of it. It's a little bit frustrating to learn how to do it, a little bit frustrating to, just make the mistakes that you need to make to learn how much damage you deal at each point in your build. But with Fizz, it's especially hard since you don't start dealing as much damage until your opponents are less than half health. So it can be a little bit annoying in that regard, and it took me a little bit of time to learn how much damage I dealt at each point in my build, how much damage I dealt here and there, when I could be aggressive, when I couldn't be aggressive, and I'm still not that good at it. I've only played, like, I don't know, maybe 50 games of him total in combined of normals and ranked, so I'm still not an expert on him, but I've been having enough fun with him that I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to put in that time and effort to learn and figure it all out, and that's sort of the thing that's been my experience with Fizz. I mean, if I could describe the process of learning him, I would say that it's definitely a little trickier than most champions, because you don't deal that much. You can't just like poke someone once with an REQ and then realize, okay, I deal this much damage, I'll be able to kill this person if I land 2 more Qs. You can't really do that with Fizz. You can't just throw out a Q and then immediately know how much damage you deal. You have to sort of figure it out by really committing to a small fight and then realizing how much damage you start dealing to them with all your auto attacks stacked up against each other, and then when your opponents are getting really low, and then you're like, okay, I realize how much damage I'm dealing. But after that, then you don't really, then it's like you may as well already go for the kill if you realize you're dealing a lot, and if you haven't died already. So it's a little bit frustrating to learn, and it's a little bit harder than most other champions to get into in my experience, and I've had some rough games with it because of it, but I've definitely had some really fun games with it, and all the fun games keep me coming back for more. it has just been a wonderful experience learning how to play AD Fizz, and it's just all sorts of fun. For the build, I've been sort of alluding to the build in this video so far. The build that I go is I just go for the Triforce Blade of the Ruin King, the same as Jax, the same as Aurelia, same as most other on-hit champions, and then after that you go into Tanky, GA, Frozen Heart, Randuin's, even like a Banshees or Spear Visage, something like that. Those are typically the items you want to go for. I'm not really that confident on this build yet. I haven't experimented with it too much, but I've been having success with that if you guys are looking for a build. But I absolutely love this guy. Fizz is as fun as he ever was. AD Fizz is oh my goodness, it's very fun. I'll leave it at that. It's a very fun build that I definitely suggest. If any of you want to try out something new, if any of you are tired of seeing the Aurelia vs. Jax matchup you see every game in the top lane, and you want to switch it up with something that your opponents sure as hell aren't going to expect anytime soon, then definitely check out AD Fizz, and be on the lookout. If you see that change in the meta top lane, if you see that change back to some more tankier champions who are typically melee and typically get harassed down pretty easily, who can maybe miss their Malphite ults on a Fizz's Playful Trickster, then I think you're going to be seeing a lot more Fizz, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you all very much for watching. Good luck in solo queue, and have a wonderful day.